Hello guys, in this video here we are gonna take a look at the Razer Huntsman Mini 60% optical gaming keyboard. This keyboard here comes with optical switches. I can't really feel the difference between optical switches and mechanically activated switches, which are more like analog. They say that optical switches on keyboard should be like faster and more precise. But personally, I can't really feel the difference. But I guess since they are optical, it's not a bad thing. But for me, I can't feel the difference. So I got the one with the purple switches. So these are light and clicky with a clicky sound. 45 grams like activation to activate them. But I feel either the trigger point on these keys are fairly high or they are fairly light. Clicking on them with the main buttons like A, D and W and S feels fairly nice, but I feel myself bumping into the spacebar a lot, so like shooting and then I can like jump out of nowhere. So it's fairly light, but also maybe personally I have to get used to this keyboard. So they call it double shot PBT keycaps. So all of the text and such will last forever, I guess. Comparing it to like SteelSeries keycaps, they got a little bit of a different finish. I think this is more like of the old school look, a little bit more of a rough surface. So if you have greasy hands and such, I think these will fit you better. But personally, I think the SteelSeries one, they feel a little bit more smooth, but also the finish on top of them will look a little bit more nasty if you don't clean it too often. You have a detachable Type-C cable, the one that comes with the keyboard got this like a little bit of a special plug on it, so it sits into the keyboard nicely secured. So this here is a fairly small keyboard, so they probably haven't put the time and effort and engineering and also maybe looked at the price to have the cable be able to route out at a different point. They maybe could have put another USB-C in the other end there, so you could route the cable at the other end, because with my wide stance I would prefer to have the cable coming out at the other end. Taking a closer look at the keyboard itself, I think it's a nice and sleek look, and they have definitely not just copied or rebranded all of those other 60% keyboards that you find out there. They have actually designed this from the start, I guess. It's a nice and sturdy construction without any flex. Under the keycaps you have a metal plate. You can't really see it too much. It's an aluminium plate that is painted black. Under that you have Razer logo and plastics. Taking a look at the underside, we have 4 fairly big rubberized feet or pads. So I think this will be fairly sturdy on your keyboard and won't move about. And the pads also seem to be out of fairly high quality and won't like come off like some cheap keyboards out there. We have some stands there on the back, so we can tilt the keyboard at an angle. You have two height adjustments, and they also got a little bit of a rubberized on the underside, which I think is fairly nice touch that I don't really see too many other keyboard manufacturers offers. And of course you have the 4 gamers printed into this backplate here. On the top here we have a fairly nicely graded surface, so I think my hands fits fairly nicely on here while gaming feels fairly comfortable, and it's not too flat or too high of a grade, so I really like it when it comes to the grade and like the different height of the different keys. And since the keys also are at a different height, they can also put a little bit of a text on the front side of the keys. And this is useful because this is a 60% keyboard. 60% keyboard is basically 60% the size of a full-size keyboard with a numpad. So that definitely got some drawbacks. I'm not sure if I could live with this keyboard if we're not just gonna game with it. Then I would probably be a little bit annoyed in the longer run and switch back to a normal keyboard. But I would have to say that Razer have done a fairly good job to put in some function here with the function key to mimic a more of a full-size keyboard. We see here if we press down the F key, the different like functions of those other keys will light up here, and you can like change the volume and have full access to all of the like the TKL size of a keyboard, I think. One thing I didn't really like about this keyboard here is that the lighting. I really like my RGB lights, and this one got it with the Synapse integration where you can change the color modes and such. But the problem is that the keys and the brightness is just way too low. I have it set to max, but they should at least double the brightness here. Looking at the box, it seems to be very nice and vibrant, but it looks nothing like this when it's on your desktop. If you dim all of the lights in your room, it looks okay, but in daylight or in a well lit room, this looks nothing like my SteelSeries keyboard. So that was a big disappointment in my opinion. And I have tested another Huntsman keyboard, another Huntsman mini keyboard, and it's got the same brightness, so it's not that issue with this one. So I'm just gonna type a short text here so you can hear the keys. This is a space bar. Enter. Now I will switch to my SteelSeries one with the blue keys, clicky keys. We'll type the same text. Spacebar. Enter. So yeah, I had the last one actually connected to my computer, so we had some background sounds. But yeah. Personally, I like the clickiness better from the blue keys from the SteelSeries one, and also think they sound better. But gaming and such, I can't feel the difference, and I don't really care that much about the sound and such. But if I were to choose, I would take the blue keys, clicky keys, over the purple Razer optical switches, the clicky ones there. So in conclusion, I think this here is a really good 60% keyboard. So if you're out looking for a 60% keyboard, I could absolutely recommend this if you don't find the issues that I talked about too big. The biggest thing for me was really the lighting effects on this was just too poor. But for being a 60% keyboard, I really liked it compared to a lot of other ones. So I think this here will fit in my new setup in my like summer house or vacation house where I don't have such a big desktop. This will make a lot of sense, I guess.